Hi, we're Laura and Dan. We've bought a beautiful rustic Portuguese barn and have literally zero knowledge of building and farming, but plan on converting it into a beautiful off-grid homestead. Follow us on our journey. The outhouse cabin build is now starting to take shape, and we're really excited to show you what we've been up to. It's nice to see how quickly the cabin has come together. To build something from scratch that's going to be used by our family in the future is something that we find very special. Our plan is to completely embody the off-grid life. We want to grow foods, produce all our own energy, water, and be completely self-sufficient. However, we're still at the very start of our journey and have a lot to do. There are days where we look around the land and see opportunities just passing us by in terms of harvesting foods, planting, collecting rainwater. There's so much to do and put in place, and it can be quite overwhelming. There's also reasons on and off the land that dictates to us the order in which we do jobs. For example, growing foods and having animals would be the first thing that we put in place, but we have to be patient and continue moving forward. Right now on the land, it's a very vibrant time of year. Energy is flowing from all directions, from nature, from people, from work. Life is exploding from all angles, and it seems that every part of the ecosystem has their work cut out for them. The bees are scurrying around pollinating the plants. The trees are producing fruits, and we're trying to work in tune with nature and make the most of the fruits that it's blessed us with. Sometimes it feels like our senses are on overdrive. It's these summer days that we'll look back in the future with great fondness for what we achieved. Today we continue with the log cabin outhouse build, a project that has come together so quickly.
So this morning I'm finishing off the cladding inside, and I'm kind of going around and finishing off a lot of the kind of little more intricate bits that needs to be done inside of the cabin. It's really starting to take shape, and I really love this part because you can kind of, as you start adding more and more stuff, you can start, even though it's only just like an outhouse and a toilet block, whatever you want to call it, a toilet and a shower. But it just kind of like gives that warmly touch, you know. It's like a place that we're going to be using on a daily basis, quite regular, and it's going to be something that's going to add a huge importance to the land, because it's going to give that comfort, but it's also going to give that practical sense of what we truly need on the land. So now what I'm doing is I'm slowly working through, I'm doing the cladding, I'm doing the sink, and I'm doing them kind of little odd jobs that needs to be done. But it's looking really good.
This is the piece of wood that we've found that we're going to utilise to create the shelf that's going to sit our water dispenser on. I really like it because you can see the bark exposed. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut a corner off and then use this as a shelf. After fitting the shelf for the water dispenser, it was time to cut a hole in the bucket, which is going to be our sink. I love how the sink and the bucket look. Especially like this little bit of shelf that we've made to put the water dispenser on. I like how you can see the bark, it just looks very rustic and nice. And everything's all waterproof and everything now, so we can fill this up and start using this to wash our hands. We'll have a little organic natural soap as well, so we're going to wash our hands with that, and it won't be putting toxic chemicals into the land when we empty our grey water. So the toilet's now completed. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So here we are. Beautiful. It still needs to be stained and stuff, but we're just really excited to get the seat on. So this is the toilet. It's now done. As I said before, it still needs a bit of a gloss. I'm going to do that later. We've got these hinges that were brought over from the UK before we came out, because we'd already planned to do this build before we come out. And this lifts up, so when we need to empty out the bucket, it's just easily accessible and we'll just take it out of there. With the sink and toilet completed, it was now time to get on with the flooring. I'm super impressed with how the floor looks in here. How we'll finish it off is we've got some of this like old rope, and we've just went around the edges just to tie up any edges that you probably could have seen. So that makes it look dead nice. I'm really chuffed with that. And a subscriber actually kindly donated some money, so we used that to pay for the flooring, so that's really nice, so thank you very much for that. And yeah, I'm just really impressed with it. So what we're doing at the moment is we've finished the cladding on the outside of the outhouse. So now that we've got quite a lot of wood left, we're just going through it and seeing what we can utilise for the rest of the build. So at the moment we're going to be cladding the roof. So I'm just trying to find pieces like this one that I've got like a nice flat surface there that can be put up, and they're quite thin. So just going through it and finding pieces that we can utilise for the rest of the project.
So now what I'm starting to do is I'm starting to slowly work my way through figuring out where I need the electrics, whereabouts the wires need to be, how many switches we're going to have. We've got the battery monitor in place, we've got all our little LED lights in place, and I'm starting to bring all the wiring through and figure out where I want a light. Do I want a light here? So what we're thinking about doing is having 2 lights, LED lights in this main part of the toilet block, and then having one in the shower. At the minute we're using the toilet and we're having to come in with like a little bit of a torch and shine it around the walls, but eventually obviously we'll be able to just come in here and switch a light on. We're basically having a very simple electrical setup as well. We're just having one solar power, one battery, and it's just going to be very minimal. There's not going to be a lot of draw coming out of the electrical appliances. It's going to be very minimal, so it's going to be something that's going to be able to that doesn't require a big setup. And that's what that's one of the things that we're trying to do on the land. We're trying to keep everything simple and minimal. We don't want to go extravagant of something that we don't require. We just want the basic means to be able to live the off-grid life.
Now with the electrics in place, Dan started to do the plumbing for the shower setup.
So I've come down to the bottom of the land to the shed to pick up the boiler to be placed inside of the log cabin. I planned this kind of quite a long time ago, and maybe 6 months ago I kind of was like slowly, organically picking up certain parts and equipment and pieces that needed to be placed inside of the outhouse to complete the vision that we had of it. So the boiler is one of them, and I kind of got this quite a long time ago. So I'm really looking forward to installing this, and then eventually, once we kind of get an IBC in place and we get the water function on the land, we'll be able to have a functioning shower. So now that the boiler is installed, it finishes off really nice, it looks really good. I'm going to start fixing up some of the fixings for the water inlet, for the water outlet, and I'm going to be using some PTFE tape just to seal up some of the joints so that the water can't leak. And also what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking the water inlet all the way down to the bottom and out to, in the future, where an IBC will be sitting outside. As in the future, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be collecting a lot of rainwater off the roof. I think it's very vital when you live the off-grid journey to be able to, especially in Portugal when it's very hot, you want to be able to have a source of water constantly throughout the year. And with the hot temperatures, the water evaporates, so it's always good to have as much water as you can. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be utilising every single roof that we have, the roof on the shed, the roof on this outhouse we have now. So there'll be an IBC will be outside, and the water will come through the back of here and into the boiler so that we can have hot showers. So the boiler is now fully fitted in. What we have is we will have the water inlet, we have the gas to come in, then we have the hot water or the cold water to come out into the shower. Just put the shower head up there for now, just until we fully kind of finish off the inside of the shower. What we're going to be doing inside of the shower is that we're going to have some corrugated metal inside, which is going to be waterproof and it's going to finish it off nice. So we're going to get some corrugated metal to finish it off. It'll look really nice. And what we have outside, this is the gas. This is for the gas. This is the gas intake. This is going to be for to bring the water inside to the boiler. And then what we have under here, I've got it protected right now at the moment from the sun. We've got our water set up, our filter, our pump. Basically what we're going to be having here is our IBC. It's going to be placed here. And we're going to have some guttering that comes along the top here. We're going to have some guttering coming down with a bit of a filter on. It's going to catch the water in the IBC. Then this is going to be plumbed into the IBC. And the pump is going to pump water into the log cabin for the shower. So the main part of the plumbing is now all in place, ready to bring water from an IBC when we eventually pick up an IBC, which we will be in a few weeks' time. So the plumbing is now all set up. I've got the water intake, the water outtake, I've got the water pump set up. And one of the reasons why I actually placed the water setup on the outside of the building is because inside of the building there's obviously not a lot of space. So we want to try and utilise as much space as we can inside to have the shower be able to move around. And also as well, with having electrics, I didn't want the electrics anywhere in terms of where for the pump, for example, where the shower could get spray water on it, as that would cause a problem. So I thought the best possible solution would be to fit it outside, where it's out the way, it's clean and tidy, it's easy accessible, so if anything goes wrong, if there's a flood or anything, I can get my hands in and I can sort it out.
We're really proud of how the land is starting to take shape. We have so many amazing projects on the way that will add to improving our way of life on the land, and we can't wait to share the journey with you all. We're really starting to settle into this way of life, and we're both enjoying the slower pace. We've found that the slower pace brings a lot of introspection. Many days come where we think back to old memories in the past when we were living a completely different life. In the past, our lives would consist of working a standard 9-to-5 job, and now our lives feel a million miles away from that. There is still more work for us to do to completely embody this way of life, and stumbling blocks that we're ultimately going to face. But now we've immersed ourselves in this way of being, there's no alternative for us now, and going back to our old lives isn't an option. The evening for us is a great time to bask in the stillness of the night, where the sounds of the land just come alive and change frequency. I'm going to end this video here. Thank you all for the comments, feedback and all the love sent our way. We both really appreciate it, and we hope you have a good day or evening wherever you are in the world. Sending you lots of love.
Hello! I see you there! You're watching us! Hello, you alright? How'd you get down there? You're in my toilet.